Welcome to the 2015 leadership election debate. We're going to have all of our candidates introduce themselves and also say what position they're running for. And then we will get started with some questions that we have. And again, if you guys have any questions that you want answered that pertain to any of the candidates, please just write down which position they're running for and then write the question and we will ask it for you guys. Besides that, we'll start at the very end with Margaret. So just state your name and what your position is now in leadership and what you are running for.
Okay, hi, I'm Margaret. I'm in the Publicity Committee. I am the treasurer of the Publicity Committee, and I'm running for junior class president.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm currently sophomore class president, and I'm running for junior class president.
Hi, my name is Janelle. I am in the Publicity Committee, and I'm running for ASB Vice President.
Hi, my name is Arslan. I'm running for ASB Vice President.
Hi, my name is Alana. I am currently the junior class secretary, and I'm running for senior class president.
Hi, my name is Noelle. I'm running for senior class president, and I'm currently junior class president.
We're going to ask one question to each set of pairs, and we'll just go through it a couple times until we think that you guys have had enough, or if we run out of time. There won't be a time limit, but if we hear you guys like rambling, we're going to kind of wrap you guys up because there are 6 of you, and that's a lot of answers to hear. Okay, so we're going to start with our candidates for junior class president, and we would like to know, what do you think is the most challenging part of junior class that you have not yet experienced as a sophomore? And we're going to start with Margaret.
Challenging part about being part of junior class next year will probably be balancing the hard classes that everyone's going to push themselves to take next year, and then also with fun activities. Like especially for homecoming, I think that it'll be hard to work around like float building every day, and on top of like all the AP homework and like even just regular classes. I think it just really picks up junior year. So I think finding that balance will make it like run a lot smoother and just be a lot more fun for everyone.
I think a hard or difficulty that we'll experience this year is like the new people that you'll be working with. And even though I've experienced that this year, I feel like it'll be different junior year because there is a lot more pressure on you as there are more events like prom, and like now you're really feeling like what it's like to plan the bigger events for a lot of people. And so because the pressure will be more and because you'll be working with different people, like that's going to be something that you'll have to like work around and be flexible with.
Okay. What is the most admirable trait in your opponent that you think makes them a good candidate for ASB Vice President? And we'll start with Jenna.
Well, I haven't gotten the opportunity to know RC that well because we haven't had classes before, but I always hear him talking about like events in the Middle East because, you know, I don't know what he's like. He's Afghan, and like I think it's really cool that, you know, he cares so much about, you know, stuff over there, and like he lets people know about it, and like he's not afraid to like share his opinion or like speak out on it. And I think that's really cool.
I appreciate Janelle's commitment the most. I know she's like an athlete and she does leadership as well at the same time. And I appreciate how she can manage her time so well and do an effective job in both roles.
Okay, so next question to the senior class president candidates. Both of you are really involved with sports. How do you think you can apply those skills or qualities you have acquired through your experience with your respective sports in being senior class president? And we'll start with Alana.
I think that the most applicable tool that I could use from sports is my leadership qualities and my ability to communicate. I think that I express my opinions strongly and boldly, and I think that that's the most important thing in a leader, is being able to communicate and tell people what they're doing wrong, but also being able to accept criticism.
I think the most admirable tool that I've learned from swimming is commitment. Swimming is a pretty difficult sport to like and to continue doing for really long periods of time. You're swimming alone, you don't really have anyone to talk to, and it's really up to you to push yourself, and if you want to get something done, if you want to improve, you need to do it yourself. And I think that I've learned to become very committed to things and to really not give up because if in swimming, if you want to become better, the only thing that's going to do that is if you work at it extremely hard every single day. So I think that commitment is the number one thing that I've learned from swimming that I will apply into next year, because I will become very committed in especially fundraising, because we need a lot of money for the events that we'll be putting on next year, and I think that fundraising is one of the number one things that needs to get done next year.
And the next question is, what do you feel are the 3 top skills/qualities the junior class president should possess?
I think the junior class president needs to be resilient, determined, and committed. I think commitment is like a big part of being a president, because you're the leader and you're the one that everyone looks up to, and if you're flaking and if you're like not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then it's kind of like looks bad on you, especially since you're their leader. The president needs to be determined, because as president you carry on a lot of responsibilities, and I feel like since you have so much on your plate, you have to be determined to succeed in everything, or at least try your best, and always be determined to do the most. I think you should be trying to do the most, and they should be resilient, because in leadership you face a lot of ups and downs, like whether they're fundraisers that don't always turn out well, or just like bad feedback from people. And a strong leader would know how to be resilient and kind of get back up on their feet, and especially encourage their whole team, like, oh hey guys, like it's just one step back. And because you're their leader, like they're looking to you all the time as their role model, as the person who's gonna kind of like be motivating everyone when they do something that doesn't turn out well.
I think that the 3 qualities that a leader should possess is, I feel like they should be really good at communicating towards people, because you're going to be speaking to so many demographics and like so many different types of people that might not understand one direct approach to something. So I feel like you need to be able to know multiple approaches towards people, so that way they can understand what you're saying, and then like what your do your task that you're trying to have them do, or just understand what like fundraiser you're trying to have. Another trait that a leader should have is I think that a leader should always be kind, just because I feel like people work well underneath like a kind figure. Like if you're really harsh, like some people might follow you, but I feel like it's better to be kind towards everyone in your committee and just like have a really nice environment for them to work. Also, I think that a good leader should be have perseverance, because like while leadership is really fun, it's not always easy, and I feel like if you have perseverance, then it's easier to get through tasks by pushing yourself, and then other people will follow you. So yeah, I think those are good qualities to have.
AP, what do you feel has been your biggest success in leadership so far, and how does it reflect on what you would like to achieve as ASB Vice President?
I feel my biggest success in leadership so far has been my ability to step up and take tasks into my own hands. Usually in sophomore class, I would sit back and wait for tasks to be dictated to me, or not do the task at all, and I feel like that was extremely detrimental to my capabilities as a leader. So this year I really stepped up, and when fundraising needed to happen or calls to certain places for donations needed to happen, I took that action. When emails needed to be made regarding donations or decorations for junior prom, I took that action. And so yeah.
I think my biggest success has been my communication. I hadn't been in leadership last year, but I was in leadership freshman year, and I wouldn't really talk to anyone or like follow up with people unless I was told to do so. And I think by following up with people on my own and choosing to communicate with people on my own, like not having to be told, is something that can help me as ASB Vice President, because it's something that you need to do. Like you shouldn't be just like being told to do something all the time. And I think it's really important that you have like self-discipline to do things, and like
Seniors say, so this is like a scenario. It's the first week of school and you're meeting with your fellow senior class officers. What are the 3 most important things that should be on the senior class agenda for the year?
Okay, so I think the steps I would take the first week of school is first of all, get to know my committee. We're going to be working together for the entire year. We need to know each other's strengths, know each other's weaknesses. We need to be on good terms because it's a year where we need to get things done, and that's extremely important. So I want to get to know my committee and just be on really good terms with them. Second, I think it's extremely important that we lay out our fundraisers for the entire year. We have events frequently, senior banquet, senior breakfast, senior sunrise, senior ball. There's always events that are going to be done, and we are constantly fundraising for those events. So I think that the first thing we need to do is have a calendar and kind of lay out every single month what event we're going to have and already start planning for those, already start planning ahead. And I think the third thing is one of the first events that I would like to do is have senior sunrise. Sadly, the seniors didn't really have the chance to have one this year due to complications, and I just would like to get that off the bat, kind of have all our seniors together to celebrate the beginning of our last year in high school, and kind of just have everyone together just to relax once right before college apps go in, and stuff like that. So those are my top 3 things to get done at the beginning of the year.
I think my 3 things would be planning ahead, establishing a respect between my entire committee, and enhancing the events that we have already. And by establishing a respect between my committee, like what Noelle's saying, getting to know your peers and knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses and being able to help each other build ourselves within our committee. Planning ahead is the most important thing. I think without proper preparation, you're not going to get any results. If you can't expect any results, if you don't plan properly. And third, enhancing the events that we have already. I think that it's not important right now to make new events, but to make the events that we're going to have next year ones that all of us can enjoy as seniors together. Yeah.
Next round, we have some questions from the audience. So we're going to start with juniors, and starting with Margaret. If you were a fruit, what fruit would you be and why?
I'd probably be a plum. Plums are probably the best fruit there is, and they're really nice and soft and juicy on the outside, and they're really good. But then in the middle, it's down to business, hard to pick, So
Nice.
I guess that's the fruit I would relate with.
Good choice.
Okay, I would be a blueberry because a blueberry is small, just like me. I'm 5'1", but when you bite into it, it's like an explosion of juiciness and yeah, I may be
like
small,
that.
but I'm made up of different components, just like blueberry. They're also my favorite fruit, and they're tasty. So yeah, and it's nice colors.
So the question for the ASB Vice President candidates, and we're going to start with Janelle, is what is going to be your top priority if you were to be elected into office?
I think my top priority, if I were to be elected, would be to make sure that everyone in leadership is on the same page. To teach respect to leadership kids, to respect events, and by teaching leadership kids to respect everyone else's events, that makes the whole school respect everyone else's events. And I think that event attendance is based on how people treat the events themselves, and if we can get the people in leadership to respect them, we can get the people in the school to respect them.
Nice.
My first priority as ASB Vice President would be to unite the 2 classes of leadership. We all know that 2 classes of leadership are separate, and there tends to be a lot of infighting between the 2. And I feel it's very separate from each other, and they should be together. So what I would try to instill is more party dances, for example, or events, where we're bringing the classes together, and there's not a stigma to each other.
Seniors. We'll start with Alana. How will you incorporate all of the students into your events?
I think that the biggest problem or difficulty that we face this year is getting
see involvement and suggestions or like say from our peers. So I think that publicizing that we do have suggestion boxes and that we do have surveys online. I think that getting the word out that these seniors have the opportunity to have a say in our senior events is the most important thing to me. Again, I want the seniors to feel empowered by their voice and that they have a say in their senior year and that they have a say in the senior trip and in banquet and in senior ball.
I agree 100% with what Alana is saying. Although the 6 people who are in senior class are really the organizers of everything, we are what you guys want. So I'm extremely open-minded. I am really open to hearing other people's opinions, and I think that in order to get more people to come to our events, they need to know that if they suggested something, that it'll be a possibility at the event. So they have something to look forward to that they suggested that they wanted. So I think it's really important to have all the seniors' voices really heard, and by, again, what Alana was saying, doing suggestion boxes, and really just by talking to people. I feel that I know very different groups of people, and I feel that I can reach out to them really well. Just by asking, like, hey, what would you want our theme of senior ball to be? Or what kind of music do you want at senior banquet? What kind of food do you want at senior banquet? Just anything like that, so that we can get their opinions and really have their events be what they want, not what we want.
What do you feel has been the biggest accomplishment during your sophomore year, and how does it reflect on what you want to accomplish as junior class president?
I feel like my biggest accomplishment this year would be, I guess, working well with my committee. I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was expecting kind of like this committee to be awesome because I kind of had a say over who was going to be in the committee, and I was like, okay, this is a great group of people. But then like I started to realize like, oh, like not everyone here is exactly experienced. Not everyone here actually like works that well together, and like so after realizing that like we kind of started to. Like I started talking to them, like telling them like this is what we need to do and accomplish as a class, and like just really keeping them on focus, on task all the time, because a lot of the community members were new, and I feel like that's why it's my biggest accomplishment, because I gathered like these kind of people who are new to leadership and didn't really know what to do, into these like leaders now who are like who can kind of have their own committee on their own. They will be fine. Like they could even take my place and like lead our class. So I would say like in terms of communication and working with people, that would be my biggest accomplishment this year.
So as I said earlier, I'm in publicity committee, and going into publicity committee, like I knew the girls that were in there, but I wasn't like super close, and like as the year progressed, I feel like my biggest accomplishment was just making these like great friendships in between the committees. You know, like it was kind of scary at first, like me being a sophomore and they're all upperclassmen, but it was just really nice. Like I feel like, as Jenny said, like my communication skills really increased this year, and like by making all these friends, and just like how well we work together in our committee to make the publicity board. And also like just our fundraisers that we did, like we did a Lola Chicken Shack fundraiser, and it's just a lot of fun, like when you're able to connect with the people that you're surrounding yourselves with like almost every day. And I'd say that that's probably my biggest accomplishment, just like creating friendships and communication wise.
So for the VPs, what do you think is the biggest obstacle you'll face next year, and how would you overcome it?
My biggest obstacle next year as senior class VP, as vice president, will be to work together with all the classes synergistically to instill a common sense of cooperation between me and everybody in the class. Like in Ms. Austin's class, working with all the committees itself can be a daunting task, but I want to expand that to Knox class as well. And so effectively, what I hope to create is a system where we all know what's happening and where I can help with whatever's going on, and I know if there's trouble in a certain committee, that I can pick up and help out with that.
I think the biggest obstacle for me would be an obstacle that we have right now is that school spirit is a little bit lacking. And I know it starts with leadership because, you know, we're people who put on the spirit days and the people who tell you like to dress up, but I think we need to expand that to the school and like ask you guys, like, what do you want the spirit days to be, and like make you more active within like how we run things at this school to make you guys have more of a voice in what we have to say.
Moving on to the seniors. So both of you guys are currently, junior class, senior class. Both of you guys are currently in junior class and have all seen the ups and downs of the committee and the challenges that you guys have faced together. What do you feel has been the biggest weakness this year? And what do you see as the best approach to overcoming it senior year?
Okay. So I'm junior class president this year, and at the beginning, I will admit I had a lot of trouble figuring out how everything worked and kind of figuring out how to be president. I had a lot of trouble with delegation skills and really communicating with my committee. I tend to really keep things to myself and kind of try and do everything myself, and eventually that just became too much of a load and things started falling apart. So I think I've really learned how to delegate a lot better and try and tell every single person at the beginning of the period what they need to get done, and I think that's really helped out with the organization of our class. And I think just having that prior knowledge of being junior class president and having that prior experience as having to learn how to go through delegation and having things fall apart at the beginning but really learn how to fix things in the end, I think that'll really help me next year because I already have the experience. I already know what it's like, and I feel that I've really improved on my delegation skills, and I hope to improve further on in this year.
I think that the biggest problem or difficulty that we face as a committee is trusting each other and knowing that we're going to get the job done together. And with that, I think planning ahead and having set responsibilities and getting our responsibilities done efficiently and punctually would be key. And I think that my advantage would be seeing that from the outside and knowing, already thinking like, how can I make this better? I am in it to help to support Noelle, and I still am in it to support Noelle under her. And I want to make our committee as productive. I want to maximize every minute we have in class and not waiting until we get home to call restaurants and waiting last minute to call for donations. And I think that planning ahead will be key in this upcoming year.
Okay, so we're gonna do one last round of questions, and then you guys will have about like 30 seconds each to say your last words, and then we're gonna end, and the audience members, you guys are free to come up and talk to the candidates, as well as we'll have the link up so you guys can vote right here, right now, if you guys would like to do that. So our last round of questions, we're gonna start with the juniors, and we're gonna start with Margaret. So we just like to know, what is the best thing, the most wonderful quality about your opponent?
I say that Jenny is like super artistic. Like if you just look around, like probably 80% of the flyers are made by Jenny, and they look wonderful. Like they're drawn so perfectly. Like I would have assumed that it would have been created on a computer, but it's just from Jenny's hand. And I feel like she's really kind about it. You know, like she's really modest about it, but it's really good. And so I think that's like her greatest talent.
From Margaret would be how delightful she is. Like she's always smiling, she's always happy, and like she's never like down. She's never like whenever you see her, she's just always smiling, and she's like always positive, and like that's really great to see on a daily basis, especially like around school, because school is like so sad. Margaret is so happy, and she brightens your day up. Yeah.
Feel is a skill or quality that makes you the stronger choice for voters?
I think I'm a very personable person. Like I really value diversity in my community, and I really enjoy talking to different kinds of people and like finding out like what they think about certain things. And I find it really important that the ASB vice president be a personable person, so they know how to handle like different types of people and different types of situations. And I think that's the best thing.
I think my best quality is my courage and my ability to, I believe courage is my best quality because I am able to face a lot of tasks head on, and I'm also able to communicate with a lot of my constituency and see what is better ultimately for the class as a whole. And so I think that I would take that on head on next year.
And then for the senior class president contestants, we would like you to ask your opponent one question and they will answer it, and that can be any question at all whatsoever about just being senior class president. So we'll start with Alana asking Noelle.
My question for you, Noelle, would be, what do you think your weakness is?
I tend to be a very impatient person at times, and I think that that makes me kind of get agitated at times. I think that I've really tried to work on that skill though, and kind of, again, with like communication and delegation, that kind of relates to me being impatient. I want to get everything done myself, and that kind of makes my delegation skills really weak. But again, throughout this year, I've been really working on that, and I think I've really improved. And I think that, yeah. I'm still a somewhat impatient person, but I've learned to control it, and I've learned to really use my committee as my team members and make sure that they're all helping out.
And your questions will
What's your favorite color?
You took my question.
You got a kid?
That's what I was going to ask. Do you want me to ask you? Sure. Do you have a good answer?
Oh.
What is your greatest weakness, Alana?
I too think that I can be impatient, but I also think that balancing my time, or maybe that's not a weakness, but I think that I struggle with that the most. But I think that when I'm committed to something, and as I have been in the past semester in junior class, I think that my commitment has made me stand out. And I think that I excel in communication, and when I'm committed to something and I'm passionate about something, I think that I'm like 110% all the time, and I think that that's all you can ask for from a president.
So we're gonna just have, real quick, you guys each have about 10 seconds to say one last final thing to get your guys' votes, and then we have the link up here, so you guys can come up and type that into your phones, and you guys can vote right here, right now. So they have 10 seconds, starting with Margaret. Ready, set, go ahead.
I just want to bring us like all together because I feel like we're really scattered. Like we're all friends, but it's like friends. And I just want to like bring us all together to make us like actually know about each other. You know, like so we can all work together and just have like a really fun time and like good memories to look back on. Okay.
I would say my biggest goal next year, if you guys elect me, is to create new memories. And yeah, like Margaret said, like kind of bring our class together. And we'll bring our class together in these awesome events that I'm going to help host. Like that. So yeah.
School won't be hell if you vote for Janelle.
What the?
Vote for me next year if you want to ensure a leadership class that is fully committed to you, the students, because in the end, you are what it's all about.
That didn't rhyme.
I think that I'm blessed with the gift of leadership, and I want to lead you guys, and I want to enhance your senior year and changes in the air.
Done.
Why you should vote for me for senior class president. I have the experience and I also have the time. I'm completely willing to dedicate every single second of my senior year to make my junior classes this year, senior years, amazing and unforgettable. Thank you.